Good morning. Today, the men and women of the United States Air Force observe a change in command in which the range of responsibility for the 3rd Wing will pass from Colonel Kevin Jamison to Colonel Charles Schuck. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General David Nahom, Commander, Alaska Command, Alaska NORAD Region of the 11th Air Force, and his wife Kim. Accompanying them is Brigadier General David Moore, Alaska NORAD Region Deputy Commander, and his wife Michelle, Brigadier General Keith Ranford, National Guard Director of Joint Staff, Deputy Commander of Alaskan Command, Colonel Philip Lancaster, Deputy Commander, 11th Air Force, and Chief Master Sergeant Heath Temple, Senior Enlisted Leader of the Alaska NORAD Region, Alaskan Command, and the Command Chief Master Sergeant, 11th Air Force. We would like to take a moment to recognize our distinguished guests in attendance today. Please hold applause until all guests have been introduced. Colonel Jamison's wife, Colonel Jamie Jamison, their daughter Ava, and their sons Aiden and Jason, and their au pairs Rocio and Alea. Colonel Schuck's wife Jen, their daughter Addison, and their sons Sawyer and Maddox. Joining us online is his mother Kathleen, his father Chuck Sr., Master Chief Petty Officer retired, United States Navy, his grandparents Jim and Edie, his wife's mother Pam. On behalf of Senator Lisa Murkowski, Mr. Greg Kaplan. On behalf of Senator Dan Sullivan, Miss Abby Brown, Major General Joseph Hilbert, Commanding General, 11th Airborne Division, and his wife Beth, Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, 11th Airborne Division, Command Sergeant Major, Colonel John Rotante, 11th Airborne Division Chief of Staff, and his wife Amy Jo, Brigadier General Anthony Stratton, 176 Wing Commander, Chief Master Sergeant Peter Pratt, 176th Wing Command Chief, Colonel David J. Wilson, 673rd Air Base Wing Commander and Joint Base Commander, and his wife Susan, Dr. Jen Dunleavy, 3rd Wing Executive Director, Colonel Lance Van, 673rd Air Base Wing and Joint Base Acting Deputy Commander and Logistics Readiness Group Commander, his wife Kimberly, and his mother Beverly. Mr. Don Weckhorst, 673rd Air Base Wing and Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson Executive Director, Chief Master Sergeant Michael Sylvester, 673rd Air Base Wing and Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson Command Chief, Chancellor Sean Parnell, University of Alaska Anchorage, Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson Community Leader. Lastly, a special welcome to all senior officers, civilians, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, members of Team J-Bear, community leaders, friends and guests joining us online for being here to share in this special occasion with Colonel Schuck and his family. Please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of the colors, singing the national anthem, and the invocation. A distinctive feature of military ceremonies is the formal presentation of command to the reviewing officer. Today's formation represents the men and women that will serve under Colonel Schuck. Present the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, I ask that your blessing will be upon all those gathered here today. We pause to give our attention and to participate in this change of command ceremony. Lord, you place leaders in positions of authority and responsibility, and you charge us to pray for them. I thank you for the dedication, the commitment, the great leadership of Colonel Jameson, guiding the airmen of the 3rd Wing to be better prepared for any fight that we may encounter, and creating new methods and models for success while inspiring at every level within the 3rd Wing and 3rd AEW, and the purpose of charging towards the storm and having unmatched resilience. Whether brand new or even slightly broken, Colonel Jameson's leadership has inspired us as airmen to becoming the best team of professionals dedicated and committed to our mission. And Lord, as Colonel Jameson's chapter here in the 3rd Wing closes and a new chapter begins, I pray you allow his legacy to continue. Impress upon him the memories of a job well done and the great impacts that he has made. Guide his footsteps in his journey ahead and open every door of opportunity, not only for him but his family as well. Bless Colonel Jameson and his wife, Colonel Jamie Jameson, and children Jason, Aiden, and Ava. Let your favor, peace, and grace that only comes from you rest within their home and on their lives. Guide and direct the Jameson family all of their days and bless them abundantly. And now, Lord, we welcome our new commander and his family to the 3rd Wing, Colonel Schuck, his wife Jen, and children Sawyer, Maddox, and Addison. I pray for peace, strength, and endurance to the Schuck family. I pray the bond of love they share will grow stronger throughout this next chapter here at J-Bear as Colonel Schuck assumes command today. I ask that you grant him wisdom, strength, and insight in leading the Grim Reapers of the 3rd Wing. Allow this next chapter in his life to be the best years of his career, that one day he too can look back with delight and pride on his legacy and the positive impacts he has made within the 3rd Wing. Bless Colonel Schuck and his family and place your hand of protection over each of them, your provision, and your many blessings in their lives. And lastly, Lord, I pray for the airmen of the 3rd Wing. I pray we will continue to serve with integrity and excellence, anticipating the new lessons, methods, and challenges and successes ahead. Let us be inspired by Colonel Schuck's leadership. Allow us to always strike fear in the enemy's hearts, that we will always be prepared, equipped, and ready for the call. Bless those that are deployed and those that stand for freedom, and bless the United States of America. I ask these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Honor Guard, Chaplain White and Captain Denigan. Please be seated. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant General David Nahom.
Jessica, put the troops at ease, please. Well, good morning and welcome. What a great day to celebrate the 3rd Wing in this beautiful setting, and after a little bit of a rainy weekend, just an absolutely beautiful morning here in Anchorage, Alaska. Today we will unfortunately have to say goodbye to an old friend, really two old friends, Colonel Jinx Jameson and Colonel Trix Jameson. Though sad to see the Jamesons go, we will gladly welcome in a new family to J-Bear, Colonel Charles Shell Schuck and Jen Schuck. Welcome to Alaska. A special welcome to all the family members, both here today and watching remotely. Trix, Mother Carol, husband Steve Carlisle, father-in-law Douglas and spouse Karen, uncle and aunt Dennis and Trina, aunt Alicia, grandmother Lorraine, brother-in-law Joshua, and spouse Jessica, the au pairs Maria and Gisela, and of course the daughters, daughter Ava and sons Jason and Aiden. For Shell, Jen, mother Kathleen, grandparents Jim and Edie, father Master Petty Chief Chuck Sr., mother-in-law Pam, daughter Addison, sons Sawyer and Maddox. And to all the families here, I can't thank you all enough for the sacrifice. Really, today's celebration is a lot about Jinx and Shell, but it's also a lot about the families who really made this day possible. Thank you to all the commanders, senior enlisted leaders, honorary commanders, civilian advisory board members, and all other partners here today. Your daily support for the airmen of the 3rd Wing is truly noted. Thank you. Leading off, I do want to say a couple words about this incredible unit, the 3rd Wing, and its proud history, and where it sits in the forefront of our nation's defense. Yeah, I was fortunate to be part of the 3rd Wing many years ago, and it's certainly a unit that I have a lot of affinity for, and it's just so, I'm just so glad to be up here on the stage with these two leaders. The 3rd Wing has a direct lineage back to the 3rd Bombardment Wing, established in 1948 at Yokota Air Base in Japan. The 3rd Bombardment Wing not only dropped the first bombs in the Korean War, it dropped the last bombs in the Korean War with over 33,000 combat sorties. In the Cold War, it took over Homeland Defense. In 1964, it was redesignated the 3rd Tactical Fighter Wing in Louisiana, and then turning the 90th Bomber Squadron into the 90th Fighter Squadron at that time. When it moved to Alaska in 1991, it's been up here ever since. Since being here, it's taken over air defense for the homeland and most importantly, worldwide air power projection. First in the F-15 Eagle and Strike Eagle, then the F-22 with the E-3 Century C-17 and C-12 aircraft. Today, the 3rd Wing provides air dominance, global mobility, and command and control for combatant commanders throughout the world. Through his leadership, airmen of the 3rd Wing have realized Colonel Jameson's vision to be a team of professionals committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific. I'm often asked, what does success in the Pacific look like? And my answer is always, it will certainly start with how quickly can the 3rd Wing get into the fight. And in his time here, Colonel Jameson, Jinx, has been absolutely focused on that. During his command, Jinx advanced this wing, the Air Force, and the DoD immeasurably. He developed and led the execution of 2 iterations of Exercise Agile Reaper, projecting Alaska forces into the 2nd island chain, employing what everyone is calling the hub and spoke operations. It seems to be something new back in DC, but it's something the 3rd Wing has done all along and done it quite well. Exercised in the administrative and logistical functions of the 3rd Air Expeditionary Wing, the lessons learned from these exercises are now foundational in Air Force operations and throughout the Pacific, and they're being implemented not only by the rest of the Air Force, but sister services as well. This was just one piece of Jinx's 2027 initiative to prepare this wing and this entire base for success against our persistent adversary in the Pacific. In a conversation I had with a very senior leader in our Air Force, a comment was made to me, what Jinx and the 3rd Wing are doing is absolutely game-changing. And then this senior leader went on to say, my challenge is getting the rest of the Air Force and the rest of the Air Force's deployable combat wings to actually function at this level. This is Jinx's absolute legacy. So I want to thank you, Jinx, for your leadership, your countless hours you've dedicated to these airmen and their families, the great strides you've made to keep this wing and our Air Force absolutely ahead of our competitors. I also want to add additional thanks. I was not able to attend the Jamesons going away last week because I had another commitment. But I do want to thank Trix in public because I wasn't there last week. Thank you for your support to Jinx, the 3rd Wing Airmen, and their families. Thank you for your friendship to Kim and me, and most importantly, thank you for your support to 11th Air Force and the work you did. You really helped us usher in the much needed change we needed at this base, so thank you, Trix. As Jinx's incredible tour comes to an end, Shell's begins. Colonel Schuck has over 2,000 hours in the F-15, F-22, and F-35, and as an F-22 weapons school graduate, he brings a deep tactical knowledge and experience. Shell and Jen come to us from Eglin, where Shell served as the 33rd Operations Group Commander. Shell, you're taking command of an organization truly kicking on all cylinders. My charge now is for you to take it to the next level. Continue the legacy of this incredible combat air power, world-class command and control and power projection in the two most strategic regions in the world, the Indo-Pacific and the Arctic, where our challenges not only come from the physical environment, but they also come from two peer competitors. I'm really excited to see what you do next with this opportunity. The nation is depending on the airmen before me in the Third Wing. Thank you to the Third Wing families, the leaders, past, present, and future. I trust you will aim high, fly, fight, and win. God bless.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Nahom. Colonel Jameson, please join Lieutenant General Nahom center stage. Please stand for the presentation of the Legion of Merit 1st Oak Leaf Cluster. Attention orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress July 20th, 1942, has awarded the Legion of Merit 1st Oak Leaf Cluster to Colonel Kevin M. Jameson for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service, 15 July 2022 to 15 July 2024. Colonel Kevin M. Jameson distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander 3rd Wing, Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska, from 15 July 2022 to 15 July 2024. During this time, Colonel Jameson oversaw the simultaneous deployment of 2 F-22 squadrons for NATO air shielding missions and Pacific deterrence operations. Additionally, back at home station, 3rd Wing F-22s effectively intercepted 2 unidentified aerial threats, contributing to Homeland Defense and earning the Wing a Meritorious Unit Award. Colonel Jameson collaborated with the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and Major Command and numbered Air Force commanders to streamline Homeland Defense requirements for the Wing, enhancing readiness levels for both F-22 and E-3 units under the pacing operational plan. As a result of these efforts, the Wing achieved victory in the Air Combat Command William Tell air-to-air competition. Furthermore, he developed and led Exercise Agile Reaper, a comprehensive endeavor involving 9 wings, 750 personnel, and 29 aircraft deployed to the Guam Island cluster. This exercise focused on agile combat employment conducted in an environment designed to effectively simulate real combat scenarios. Colonel Jameson's leadership kept the $1 billion Joint Integrated Test and Training Center on track to achieve initial operational capability vital for Night 1 combat readiness. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Jameson reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Brigadier General Stratton will now present the Alaska Legion of Merit to Colonel Jameson. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the Governor of the State of Alaska has awarded the Alaska Legion of Merit to Colonel Kevin M. Jameson for exceptionally meritorious service to the State of Alaska from 15 July 2022 to 15 July 2024 as the Commander, 3rd Wing, Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska. During this period, Colonel Jameson partnered with the 176th Wing Command Team to enhance the total force integration relationship in the Air Force's only C-17 Alpha active associate, enabling 197 global airlift missions in support of combatant commands while fostering and advancing training in agile combat employment, posturing the organization towards operational plan readiness. Further, Colonel Jameson was instrumental as a combat Air Force mentor and advisor, enabling the 3rd Wing to provide continual defense of Alaskan airspace during a period of increased global tensions. His leadership enabled the North American Aerospace Defense Command's first ever kinetic air-to-air engagement, destroying an unidentified aerial phenomenon. Finally, Colonel Jameson led the $1 billion Joint Integrated Test and Training Center project, enabling the next generation of virtual warfare to ensure continued defense of the state of Alaska. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Jameson reflect the highest credit upon himself, the United States Air Force, and the state of Alaska. At this time, Colonel Kevin Jameson, Commander, 3rd Wing, will deliver his remarks.
Jess, please put the formation at ease. All right, this is a bittersweet moment. This has been one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in the Air Force, and it's one of those moments where you wish it could keep going, but you also know it's time for that next season. And Colonel Schuck's going to be phenomenal stepping into this role. I'd like to say thanks to the men and women that helped put this ceremony together. So Megan, Wayne, Sergeant Holland, Chaplain White. Thank you for everything that you've done to put this together. Also, thanks to the maintenance team. 193 looks like a Code 1 killer, and all the aircraft that you were able to tow back into the spots here. It sets a wonderful backdrop for everyone to watch. Also like to thanks again for all the distinguished visitors that made their way here today to take time out of your busy schedules. First, I'd like to say thanks to General Wilsbach and then General Crum. They were responsible for why I got this opportunity to be the commander of the 3rd Wing, and I'm thankful for their opportunity and their leadership. Also want to thank General Schneider for his continued confidence to continue to serve within the 3rd Wing. And I'd also like to give a special thanks to General Nahom. He was instrumental in helping us get after some of the key initiatives that helped increase the readiness across this wing, specifically helping get the 18th Fighter Interceptor Squadron, which allowed the F-22s to no longer be the primary alert asset, and then also helping us with the NORAD Northcom memo that allowed the E-3 to fly on a more consistent basis. Both of those actions were huge in our ability to make sure we were preparing for the pacing challenge. To Shell, you are the right person for this job. Again, the team is ready to go, get after the pacing challenge. And General Nahom talked about some of his accomplishments, but you've got a combat credible leader who took his squadron to war, super credible in the F-22, and he spent the past few years leading at the deputy commander and group levels and is more than qualified to step into these shoes. Also want to give a special shout out to his family, Jen, Addison, Sawyer, and Maddox. Welcome to Alaska. This was the first place that my spouse and I were able to call home. And then 15 years later, it's still another phenomenal place, and to have our children here. They truly loved Alaska, and I hope that you're able to find this is a great spot as well. I'd like to shout out to the friends and family that are out online. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. And again, I'd like to give a thanks to my mom, Avis, and then my mother-in-law, Carol. Both of those grandmas were on the immediate response force, and so if you live in the Jameson household, you need a grandma on 24-hour notice to be able to get out there in time to make sure that you can help manage our busy schedules, and they were phenomenal doing that, making their way to Alaska multiple times. That also goes for our au pairs that have been a part of our family. So here today to Aleja and Rocio, you were phenomenal in helping us get through some of these challenges and being there for the children. And it was awesome to see your mentorship with them as you helped coach them through a lot of different challenges. And then also online, Lady and Kelly, who are au pairs in Las Vegas and Virginia. Thank you for your continued support as well. To the kiddos, Aiden, your first change of command here, buddy. Last time you didn't pass the check ride, but this time, right now, Q1, no downgrades, but skulls up. You can always go blitzing through an altitude, but so far, so good. You are the energy that is in our family. Ava, thanks for being here as well. You are the true heart of the family, and I love your compassion and empathy that you have for everybody. And then Jason, you are the most inquisitive little person I know and most athletic, and I love all the questions that you ask all the time, trying to learn more about what we do here in the military. The thing that I can say now is my hope, especially giving up command of the 3rd Wing, is there'll be more time to say yes to all the requests that I get from you, and hopefully I can be like Bluey's dad, Bandit, and do those silly games and do all the different things that you want us to do. And then finally to my spouse, Jamie, Thanks for being my ultimate teammate. Thanks for setting up your career so that we could come to this opportunity and have the ability to command here in the third wing. As a spouse, I love you. As a friend, you are my favorite person in the world and the person I like to talk to the most. And then finally, as a peer, you're someone that I respect their opinion at the utmost and really look for what your perspectives are for all things regarding the military. Underneath your seats, you're going to find some small gifts. Remember the rules of engagement. We're not opening those things up yet. If you continue to fly a Q1 check ride, you're going to get those afterwards. But again, that's just a small token of appreciation for everything you've done over the past couple years. And then the real gift is an all-expense paid trip to Europe. We're going to go to Germany. Realize we're going to have to work when we get there, but USAFE's got a lot of 3- and 4-day weekends, so we're looking forward to some of the future travel. Going back a couple years, the United States of America was coming out of COVID, and it meant that we had to start to rebuild some relationships. And some of the relationships that we had to rebuild was with our civic partners. I want to say thanks to Senator Sullivan, Senator Murkowski, Congresswoman Patola's staffs. They've been instrumental in what they've been able to do for the men and women in the military in Alaska, and then specifically here within the Third Wing, and their partnerships have been phenomenal. And additionally, as we grow our civic leader program, it was awesome to see all of the civilians come back out who are leaders in the community, but also help on a day-to-day basis with things that our airmen need right here. ASYMCA, Global Credit Union have been phenomenal partners in helping provide capabilities that make our lives better for our airmen, and I'm so grateful to see y'all in the audience and attendance today. Additionally, I'd like to say thank you to Chancellor Parnell, who is the honorary commander of the Third Wing. It's been a pleasure, sir, getting to know you over these past couple years and some of our different interactions. I'd say it's fairly uncommon to have the opportunity to not only be a chancellor of a major university, but a previous governor of the state. And I've truly appreciated the ability to have his expertise and mentorship as we've had conversations on how both of our organizations are going, and then also the partnerships he's helped us out with, both with some of our child care challenges and then also the Joint Integrated Test and Training Center. For the Third Air Expeditionary Wing to be successful and for the Third Wing to be successful, there's some key relationships that are required to happen on this base. That's the 673rd Air Base Wing, the 477th Fighter Group, and the 176th Wing. Those are absolutely critical to make sure that we can execute our mission. So first I want to say thanks to Dave and Susan for being here. I've told Dave this many times, but you make my job easier. There's a lot of stuff that you do on a daily basis that I don't have to worry about so that we can get after making sure the deployed combat wing is ready to go. And Susan, you and Ella, it's been wonderful teammates with our family, and we've really loved being next to y'all. To the 477th Fighter Group, we got Nacho in the crowd, and I have Stiflers over there on the other side as well. But it's been phenomenal with the experience that you bring both on the operations and maintenance side. And then in this last iteration of Agile Reaper, it was amazing to see what your team could do. And it just showed the partnership between both of those organizations and what we can do if called upon to do so. And then finally to General Stratton, sir, thank you so much for this opportunity or to get this award here. It's been a wonderful time too, getting to know you as well, and I've enjoyed all the different conversations we have as we continue to provide strategic lift for the combatant commanders. So thank you for your friendship and then working with the Third Wing team. All right, the success of the Third Wing, so when they read a Legion of Merit citation for a wing commander, really that is the work of the men and women you see before us, and then also the commanders, the SELs and the chiefs that are out in the audience. And so it's really on the backs of their shoulders that all of that work gets done. I was fortunate that I had phenomenal commanders. So from the DCOM, Lurch, Jess, from the command chiefs, Nikki and Jeremy, to the group commanders, Butcher, LJ, and Chris. That's where it starts right there, taking commanders' intent and making sure their teams are out ready to go execute. And then from our squadron commanders in the first and the second year, it was really their ability with the senior enlisted leaders and the chiefs to take that intent and then make it work with the men and women that they lead. And because we were so united as a team and all of those commanders were in alignment, it allowed us to do more than we could have if there had been internal struggles that we would have had to have dealt with within the Third Wing. So I cannot say thank you enough to all the commanders and chiefs that helped lead. All right, and finally, to the ones who are doing the work, we just got a small representation of it here right now of the men and women in service dress and in some of the other uniforms, but realize there's over 2,200 men and women out there providing that air dominance, global mobility, and command and control for combatant commanders. You heard about some of the accomplishments within the Legion of Merit, so I'm not going to reiterate what those were and what they did, but it did ultimately result in getting the Meritorious Unit Award. Realize that right now, the thing that I do want to end on is that you've heard me and many times talk about 2027, and for those that aren't familiar, that is when President Xi said that his military will be ready to take Taiwan with a lethal force. And if his military is going to be ready to take Taiwan with lethal force in 2027, then our military is going to be ready to deter that and win in conflict if called upon. I want you all to look to continue your sense of urgency. So 2 years from now, after Colonel Schuck has a successful command, the next man or woman that stands up on this podium is going to be the wing commander that will have to be ready in 2027 to be able to execute and win. So right now, although you've done a phenomenal job in 2 Agile Reapers and Bamboo Eagle and the daily training that you do here every single day, it's not enough yet. There's still more to do, and you need to maintain that sense of urgency. So what I'd ask you is just to continue to maintain that professionalism, take care of each other and yourselves, and charge into that storm.
Colonel Jamison will receive his last salute from the members of the 3rd Wing. Lieutenant General Nahom and Colonel Schuck, please join Colonel Jamison center stage. Please stand as Lieutenant General Nahom performs the change of command. Attention to orders. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51509 and Special Order Number Golf 24-046, Colonel Kevin M. Jamison relinquishes command of the 3rd Wing, and Colonel Charles E. Schuck assumes command of the 3rd Wing effective 15 July 2024. Thank you. Please be seated. Colonel Schuck will now receive his first salute from the members of the 3rd Wing. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you for the very first time Colonel Charles Schuck, Commander, 3rd Wing.
Jess, please put the formation at ease. We don't write that down, but it could be step 1 of our speech. Popeye, thanks for being the narrator. If you talk to Popeye much, he says I'm to blame for him. I put him through the B course and through weapons school, and he was the narrator at my squadron change of command. So you can blame me for anything that you don't like about Popeye. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending today's change of command. I'll be as quick as possible. Just say some thank yous and let everybody get on their way. To all the distinguished visitors, special guests, fellow commanders, chiefs, and SELs, thanks for attending today and for your support of the Airmen of the 3rd Wing. I will forego mentioning you by name since that's happened a few times already, but I look forward to meeting each and every one of you and getting to know you and learning about the missions here on JBEAR. General Nahom, sir, thank you for hiring me to command the 3rd Wing, and thank you to General Schneider as well for your trust and confidence for me to command the members of the 3rd Wing. It's been a desire of mine to be stationed at JBEAR since I was a lieutenant, so thank you for making that come true since this is my first time in Alaska. I've been in Anchorage for about 6 days total, and I've been cold every single day, and I know it just gets worse, so we spent the last 10 years in Florida, so got some adjustments to do. A ceremony like this is tall and often thankless task, so I like to thank everybody who had a hand in making it today a success. Thank you to the Honor Guard and for the National Anthem, to Lieutenant Barbie, Senior Smith, Tech Sergeant Washington, and Sergeant Holland. Thank you specifically for your efforts, and if I forgot to mention you, I'm sorry. Thank you for making today a success. I'd also like to thank the MXG and the 176th for the jets. I look forward to flying each and every one of them. Only the twin-tailed fighter is the only one I've flown, so I look forward to flying the other ones as well. Lisa and Dave, thanks for attending today. I much appreciate the efforts of the 673rd to help the deployed combat wing meet its mission. I look forward to working with each of you the next few years. Dave, not you, I think one day. And then Lisa the next couple of years, and continuing the great relationship between the 3rd and the 673rd to ensure our interests are taken care of in the Indo-Pacific theater. To Jinx and Trix, thank you for the splendid welcome and handover and helping the Schucks get settled. Jen and I hope to continue your great work in the 3rd Wing over the next few years. Good luck in your PCS and enjoy Germany. To my family, my mom and dad, my grandparents, Jen's mom Pam, and the many Schuck family friends that are in virtual land, thank you for listening in and thank you for your love and support over the years. We couldn't do it without you. I offer for you to come visit Alaska whenever you want, but if you're brave, I recommend December. To Jay and Kristen, specifically friends of ours that are in California right now, thanks for everything you taught Jen and I, and for being great friends. If we're even half as good as you are as a command team, we'll be considered successful. To Jen, Addison, Sawyer, and Maddox, I love you all very much. Thank you for taking this journey with me, not just the 26-day road trip we just did, but the Air Force journey. I for sure could not do it without you. To the 3rd Wing front office, thanks for helping getting us settled and onboarded. I can't wait to work alongside all of you. And last and certainly not least, to the airmen of the 3rd Wing, I've watched over the last year from Eglin all the great work you have done, and it's been absolutely impressive. I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible, learning our mission, and continuing your legacy of success. Thank you for what you do for our freedoms. All orders, policies, and procedures remain in effect. Thank you.
At this time, please direct your attention to the wing flagship to the right of the stage. Dedicated Crew Chief for Aircraft 193, Staff Sergeant Aiden Smith, and his assistant, Airman First Class Estefania Miranda, will now rename the flagship for Colonel Schuck. It's okay, guys. Please stand for the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Join us as we sing loud and proud and together. Yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thumb.
Air Force.
This concludes today's ceremony. Colonel Schuck and his family invite you to attend the reception at the Arctic Warrior Event Center. Thank you for attending, and we wish you a pleasant day.